So like they were spending millions, but you can't get the objective of it. So those are things that I was trying to question on the books. Like fourth state, what is it really about? Whereby a lot of money is being injected on it, but we can't see 3 people, 4 people coming in to say we got the funding for small businesses.
Oh, we've benefited like
Yes.
this and like that.
Yeah,
So do you think it was a waste of public resources?
definitely. There was a guy who asked me money one day by the bus rank, and he was telling me something. He said, "Please give me so that I may not steal from you."
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Hello, Dumelang. A very warm welcome to another episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. I'm very, very pleased to have you join us. As always, we bring entrepreneurs of a different kind. We have 2 categories. We have accomplished entrepreneurs and we also have aspiring entrepreneurs. The one that I'm going to talk to today is in between. I would think is both, is in between aspiring and accomplished. And he's written 2 books and he's really impacted the community by writing 2 books. One, The Law of Competence, and the other one is The Fear of the Unknown. So we're going to talk about these books. He's a young man, currently a scholar at the University of Botswana, and his name is Jackson Kgosiitsile. Jackson, welcome to the studio.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Listen, can you encourage these people to subscribe to the podcast? I'm ambushing you, I know, but I think they are tired of hearing me say it. I want my guests to say it from now on.
Let me just start by saying, if you're not watching the podcast, you are missing a lot. The podcast is loaded. You get to learn from different kinds of people. There's a lot of information that is being shared on the podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. It's very important for your growth and for your aspirations.
Thank you so much. Then please introduce yourself in terms of your name and your background and all the rest of it.
Let me just start by saying my name is Jackson Kgosiitsile. I'm from Mompoloki. I grew up in Mompoloki. I started my primary there, my secondary there, in Motswasele Junior Secondary School. Then I left when I was doing Form 4. I came to Mogobe. I was a boarding student. Form 4, Form 5. Then I went to UB in 2022. So I'm on my 4th year now. University of Botswana, electronics engineering.
Wow. Why did you choose engineering?
At first I started by I wanted to do something related to health. So I started with BSc. And then after BSc, that's when I figured out that I don't think I'll do well with the STEM courses, because I wanted to do something that can help my writing career, because by then I had started writing. So I wanted to change to law. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my second admission. So I just went with common engineering. Then that's when I found myself doing electronics engineering. But definitely, I'll still say even today I wanted to do LLB.
Okay. There are law firms in South Africa like Spur and Fisher, Waxmans and things like that, where you find a lot of people there practicing law who have an engineering degree. They'll first have an engineering degree, and then, especially when you deal with the area of patents and the area of intellectual property, it's an advantage to have a dual degree. So in theory you can still push and get an LLB after this.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah. Tell me, why writing and how did it all start?
Okay. With my background, where I come from, Mompoloki, so I grew in a very I'll say it's a less privileged home. It was really hard to find yourself having the means to survive. So you find a community like that is prone to a lot of social ills, prostitution. You find you learn alcohol at a very young age, because you find it's just one room and there is sport, or you grow in such kind of environment. So you're forced to find a way where at some point you want to be there in life. So how are you going to do it? You have to be different. So I started reading. I spent a lot of time reading, studying, researching. So most of the books that I was reading, they were into leadership, like John Maxwell, Miles Monroe. I was reading a lot of those books. So and then I just felt in me that one day I'm just going to be a leader.
Did you read the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell?
Yes.
It's a powerful book.
Powerful book. There's another one, Character and Leadership by Miles Monroe. It's quite a powerful book also. So when I was going through those kind of materials and meeting great people here and there, that's when that spark came that maybe I can try to now share my own story, share how I actually grew up, I really passed my JC. I really passed it very well. And I passed going to boarding school, then coming to university. Where I come from, I'm the first person to go to university. So breaking that barrier, breaking that limitation to be where I am, I was like, this is a story. Someone needs to hear it. Someone needs to go through this kind of stuff.
Tell me about who initially interested you in reading. I'm interested in how it started to that extent.
I was very smart at school. Very smart when I was doing my Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. I was very smart. So when I was reading, I wanted to be extra. Like if there are like 4 points, I would want to know all of them so that when I'm answering my question paper, I don't just answer with common answers. I wanted deep stuff because I was really smart. I got like 5 A's. And then unfortunately I couldn't get married. But I was very smart those times, very smart. So I would dive in deeper to know more. So also the church that I was going to, I used to hear the preacher, the pastor, the man that was raising me. So he would preach, he would say a lot of things. And
who was raising you?
The man is called Prophet Enoch. It's a Pentecostal ministry. So since that age, when I was a young boy to where I am today, I'm still with the man. So he was raising me, he was teaching me everything, more like a mentorship. So that's when I started to develop interest in reading. So with the reading, it's progressive. I would say it's progressive. If you read the first piece of, let's say, Nuggets of Greed, for example, when you finish the copy, you feel like maybe I need to get another copy. There's still more to this man that I can still learn. So that's how reading is. So like Miles Monroe, there's just a lot of material that I haven't covered. So I kept on having the passion, like if I can get more of his books, more of his writings. So the passion kept on growing like that.
How were your colleagues and your peers responding to your passion for readership?
I think they have always been supportive, honestly speaking, in terms of people that I grew up with, where I come from. It was more like you meet people, you grow together, and they always know what this guy, if he comes, he has a solution to our problems.
I'm only saying this because of the peer pressure aspect, because peers will always try to drive you to do what they are doing, and you already told me the environment was a bit not positive.
Yeah, it happened just that at that time, at that moment, church was there. I think church always kept me responsible. I've never had the time to like go out, party, and do some other things. So most of the time I was at church, I was playing keyboard. So I was a keyboardist. So I was the only guy who could play if the other guy, the main one, was not there. So most of the time, so that they will call me, come help us. So I'm always forced to be at church. Most of the time I'm at church. We had a Wednesday service and we had Friday service. Then we had a Saturday service. So at that time, most of the time is like I spend it at church. And
So it looks like music has an important part. How did you get into music? How did you learn to play piano?
I just loved church, and the environment that I had was like, this environment is not good for me. So what can keep me in church? And I'm like, let me just learn the instrument. Just like with my books, when we get to my books, I was doing my books, right? And then every time I'm invited for a podcast or I'm invited for an interview, I have to do a poster design. At that time, I'm financing my books. I'm also trying to balance with school and the rent and stuff. So I ended up having to learn graphic design. So it was something like that when I got to church and I'm like, I want to be in this place, but church is not nice. Prayer is not nice. It's just discipline. So I was like, how am I going to discipline myself to be in this place? So I'm like, let me learn something that would be of need. So it will push me to always go to church. So that's how I learned keyboard. Not like I was interested in music or anything.
But you became interested.
Yes, at some point then I had to develop the craft.
You wrote the book, The Law of Competence, first. Please explain the title. This is the book.
The law of competence more of a word that has to do with excellency, value. So this book is a combination of a lot of aspects that can bring about greatness. Competence is just value. So how can one grow in that aspect, their value, to be somebody of need? So then that's when I came with the book. Because I was young at that time, I was just writing anything that I have learned, not really having more like a script that I was following. So like you find there's art of leadership there. That leadership I learned it from Muammar Gaddafi. Like I was saying, Muammar Gaddafi was one of the most powerful men.
Was he not a dictator?
Yeah, that's how they say it. But when you read more, you find how he was a good man. In Libya those days, when people got married, he would give them gifts. That's what I was reading about. There's a book by a man called John Perkins. It's called Confessions of Economic Hitmen. That book, it's very powerful. It's just teaching how the Americans
Or Westerners?
yes, how they got power. No, the book is really powerful. Like,
And how they keep attacking African leaders.
yes, it's more like they
yeah.
give you something that they know you not be able to pay. Then they negotiate on how they can get power. So that book, it opened my mind to a lot of things. You know, even when you look into, there's a book, I don't know, I forgot the name of the man. He was making the times of ANC, the Zuma part. There's quite a lot of things that you can't find on the papers, but you find there's a lot of influence that the man had. So that's why I was interested in terms of the Muammar Gaddafi issue, his leadership, like what was his aspects that I thought they were good in terms of leadership. So then that's when I spoke about the art of leadership. Then I talked about integrity, purpose. Those were concepts that I learned from Miles Monroe. Then sexual immorality is also part of the book. That's where now I knew the downfall of a man is always something to do with sexual immorality.
How did you come to that conclusion?
You know, scriptural. There was a time when Job says, I've made covenant with my eyes, I will not look at any woman lustfully. So that's how I got the concept that most of the time, Like you meet great men, you meet great
He's
men.
made covenant with his eyes.
Yes, not
Meaning
to.
he's really disciplined them. He's signed an agreement with them.
Yes, yes. So I that's how I came with that concept to like, okay, most of the time the sexual urges, they come from the things we hear and the things we see. So that's why he says I've made covenant with my eyes, because some things, if you didn't see them, they would have been avoided. So
You
that's
talk about it in the law of competence.
yes, I talk about that. I talk about mentorship. I talk about how mentorship can actually help a create men of value. I think it's the last
How
chapter of
did
that
you know
book.
about all this? Because I think at the time you're not even sexually active, if I'm not mistaken. Because it says sexual immorality pill.
Yes, sexual immorality.
And how people get demonized.
Yes,
And
yes,
then the eye and how it leads to.
yes, yes.
I want you to know. I want to know how you came to all those things to be able to write about them.
I think it was from reading. It's from reading a lot of research. I do a lot of research and I listen to a lot of sermons. So you find a lot of man of God, and most times I think we had those kind of propagandas. You find a pastor did that, those kind of things, and I was like, oh, this could be the weakness of greatness. So this is one of the things that can inhibit one to be great. So I'm like, then I was like, let me just write something to do with sexual immorality, how people can actually curb such kind of things. So with books, I don't know, I was listening to Fusitembe Kwayo.
Yes.
Yes, he was saying something about business. He was like, most of the times your business model, he has to answer the question that says, why you? The credibility part. But what most people, they have to be like, why do I have to get nuggets of greed? Why do I have to get this book? So it's you having your value standing out, to be like, this man has a track record, he has 1, 2, 3. He can be the right man for me to get his book. So when I'm writing, I'm trying to bring a different articulation, a different angle, to be like, okay, we can talk about sexual morality like this, but this is my own concept that I feel if you apply this philosophy, it can work like that. So that's why I now base much of my articulation on those kind of concepts. They're a bit not popular or not common.
What about writing as a skill? How did you cultivate that skill to write?
I was good with English. I think I was good with that. And I learned a lot. Like when I was doing Form 4, my English teacher now discovered that I like writing. I used to like continuous writing. Then he advised me to like get into like some programs to improve my grammar, to improve my writing skills. Then I started getting some courses, and then I was downloading some apps to try to cultivate the language, trying to improve on that. So then that's when I kept on improving with time. So I was just writing on my book by then before I get to typing. So
I want to go back to this subject of sex, because I read in the book Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter there called Sexual Transmutation. And I teach a lot about the need to take those sexual urges, to redirect them, to repackage them, and so on. So there's a part where you say people actually get demonized, and you explain how people get demonized. As a young man, I would really want you to explain that.
demonized. I do believe life is spiritual. I do believe it. Most of the time, because of the church that I come from, it's a Pentecostal ministry. So a lot of things that we're doing there, especially the prophetic, when the man was revealing some things to some people, then I got to realize a lot that sometimes you meet the wrong people. You really meet the wrong people, and if you the sexual edges that are not aligned, that's where destinies may be lost. So demonized is from an aspect that says, Ghana, we come from different backgrounds. You know, we have different family problems, family issues. You know, and these patterns that are real, like I've seen it, that are real. People that when they get to a certain level, they can't go far. They can't go beyond that. Certain families, they have certain patterns that are evil, demonic patterns. So then that's when I'm like, if you meet such kind of people by that are not aligned sexually, it can actually affect your destiny. So that's why I say, this thing our people are possessed it's actually real.
They're possessed.
Yes, they're possessed.
By what?
Okay, there was a time when I was at boarding school, right? Every time we get to DHE, we're trying to the dining hall. We're trying to get food. You find a student who just collapse. Like it was happening several times. You feel what
Same student.
Same student. So it was like there's something with the school. There's just something that the energy here is not really right.
Correct.
Yes. So you feel like these things that are real, that are real. So I've learned not to really joke with that aspect. So when I'm writing that book, most people that got the book, they actually found that I was using a lot of scriptures, references, a lot of scriptures here and there, It's actually to say what I'm saying is not just baseless ideas. They're actually there in the Bible. If you really read it with a revelation and understanding, you find those kind of aspects there. But then the problem with books is that you are trying to sell books to everyone, and some that are not really too much of church. So they feel like this is more like religious now. So that was the problem with it.
Okay. And I noticed that you include prayer points. What is that about?
Prayer points is what worked for me. Okay, let's say for example now we ask how did you come about Nuggets of Crete, or how did you come about podcast? You give us a blueprint, something like I listened to you some years back. There was a time when you said something about you choosing the natural way, not trying to buy something like that. And like,
I prefer the organic
way.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. I hear that.
Yeah, even to growing. What did I say? I think I said I want to grow. Yes, organically or yes, naturally.
Yes. So when I was hearing that, it's like when you come and tell me that, yeah, man, this is what you can actually do to grow from point A to B. You're talking about a man who's already there. What's there for me to say this might not work? When the man tells you that I have experience in this field, I've been doing this for years. Here's the blueprint, take this, do 1, 2, 3. So prayer points, that's my personal revelation. I've read the Bible from here to I grew up Komolepole. I was asthmatic. I was asthmatic, like really bad, whereby I'll be on oxygen for like an hour or two. Was very asthmatic from my primary, juniors. So it was bad to a point whereby I'll even miss exams. But the moment I left home, I came to Mogobe, I never got those asthmatic attacks.
Not anymore.
So it's something that I can say. Prayer points are from my personal revelation to say, this is how I used to channel my prayer to deal with 1, 2, 3. So if you can pray like this, you remember when the disciples came to Jesus Christ, they say, Master, teach us how to pray.
And then he said that.
And then he taught them how he approaches prayer. He says, this is how you can actually pray.
Okay. How old are you, young man?
Right now I'm 21.
You started writing when you were 17 or 18?
I was 17.
Okay. And these books are bringing you money, income generating. It's not just for the joy of it.
Yes, that one was pushing, really. It was doing well, but then with time, I got held up with school. Engineering is demanding, so I was busy with school, and then I had to focus in school. And with books, it's a lot of patience. It's not really good in terms of sales. People have to know who you are first. They have to know who's this guy, then they can buy the book. So I tried to build my value first, try to stand out, try to be there. So like I'm pushing podcast, I'm pushing interviews here and there. So at least somebody will be like, but I remember this guy. One day I saw him at RB2. So now they can push books. They can. Yeah.
You said one has to find motivation in the midst of hardships.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that? And in your case, what did you do? What was the hardship? How did you find the motivation?
No, there was a man who once told me something. He said, learn to love the thing that benefits you. So where I come from, it was hard in terms of both the upbringing. I've seen my mom really struggling to provide for us. I have my younger brother, only the two of us. And family also, there was a lot of family issues, internal
It's a single parent home.
It's a single parent. So there were a lot of family issues, internal battles that were there, that you find that my mom can't ask from the elder sister that helped me with kids and stuff like that. So it was a really bad, really rough. But then sometimes I'll go for maths trips. That's why I got my first gold medal with my electronics project. So I'm traveling to from Mompoloki, we going probably or the college. Sometimes we go to Lerumo, and we always have trips to do those kind of projects. And then sometimes we come very late Sunday, Monday we're going to school. So my mom, there was a time she went to get me from school, and I had my bags with me late at night, and my mom is holding my bags. We're trying to go home. Things were rough. When I was looking at that lady, I was like, I don't have any other choice. I need to really work hard. So sometimes I feel like if you are in a difficult situation, you want to give up. It's you having to realize, what, if not for me, but at least for 2-3 people that have invested in you. So I had to hey man, I have to work hard for
their
this
sakes.
this lady has went through a lot with us, and I'm asthmatic. We don't have a car. I get an attack midnight. He's running around, and it was hard. So I had to when I grow up, I really need to find a meaning with my life. So I had to work hard.
Okay. So that's an example of you finding, persisting through hardship.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the second book, Fear of the Unknown. Tell us the genesis of that one.
The fear of the unknown is now that's the
This is the one here.
yeah that's the mature me now. That's me with a refreshed mind. Now that book, the second one, he has the funds now from the first one, so I could finance that one. So I took my time drafting it, did my research. So it's just democracy. The roadmap ahead is me projecting what could possibly happen in few years to come. It came last year, 2024, before elections. So it has everything that's happening now, having to project how the economy is going to be. Now that's me, UB students, with my economics background. I'm mature, loaded, lot of information. I've read books now, and then I'm drafting that piece. So I do my research. There was a case here, Madibela Klopo,
Yeah.
the High Court one. Then I looked at that opportunity. I was like, Ash.
Tell me a little bit about the case, or remind someone who doesn't know.
The case, I think what was happening was they were trying to advocate for looking after the ballots.
They?
Balibella the ballot papers.
The ballot papers.
Yes, because they felt where there was a rigging
Protect them.
to protect them. So unfortunately, I think they lost it. I remember.
They lost the case.
I don't know. I didn't follow after because there was I'm connected to the speaker, but then he was the Loom, the leader of opposition.
Yeah.
So I remember I saw his status. He was very hurt that day. He wrote something, says, a sad day for our democracy. Something to do that, I think they lost the case, the High Court. I think they lost it. So then I was like, this is a masterpiece because this kind of propagandas whereby you find a lot of things that are hidden. Then I'm like, let me write about this. Because the book is just democracy, how the centralization of power was for the previous governance. But then a book like this one, I didn't want to start writing things, pointing fingers without facts. Then I started doing my research with government institutions like ombudsman. I reviewed their policies and then looked at, I was asking them a question there when they say it's a government funded institution, but they say they are independent. So I was like, they are in terms of running. Can't we really find maybe an interference here, the executive somehow, in terms of, because they are funded by the government. But by then, Ghana, it was not this governance now, it was the previous one. So I was asking those kind of questions, looked into Directorate of Economic Crime and Corruption.
DCEC.
Yes, I looked into their policies, looked at some few cases here and there that I thought were of most interest. Then from there, I looked at, when I say the roadmap ahead, the roadmap ahead is what next now? What can we expect from here going forth? So that's when I now drafted that piece after my research, after my careful analysis politically to know me, if this is how we can continue the DBS project. You know, there's a lot of noise concerning DBS. The case is not settling. The former president had issue with it. The second one, the new one now still has the issue with the DBS. So I felt like these are issues that we really need. So that's when now I basis my political book.
So, what is the most important lesson that one can pick from this book?
That book, I think, one thing that you can pick is the power of the people. There was a man, I always forget his name. He's a professor. Probably you know him. Bujosi, something like that. Is it
Utlogile Bujosi.
Yes, that one. So
he used to be chairman of Standard Chartered.
Yes, that one. So he had a public lecture when there was the issue to do with constitution amendment. You remember the one that they voted there and some MPs, they didn't vote, so the bill couldn't be passed. So that issue. So he had a public lecture and it was cool, and he was teaching how constitution amendment, the how it can be done, and teaching us the law side of it. So when he was teaching us, he told us about you as a voter, the role that you play in terms of governance and the decisions. So then that's when I was like, this message is really powerful. So there's really a power that lies within
with the
voter. So that was the thing, because normally that aspect we despise it because we feel like,
how did he put it?
He just told us because at that time Ghana, there was a committee that was formed that was sent to ask for the public opinion concerning the amendment. So there was an issue on that thing. How are we going to?
Was it not led by Justice Dibotelo?
Yes, it was led.
And there was Bomo Tswara Khole were there.
Yes.
They traveled the length and breadth of the country.
Yes. So then that's when I asked him a question actually to like, Ghana most of the time these people, they go into wards, you know, the court line, and that's where they normally have their memorandums. But then go when we have the what, most of us, we are not there, which is the majority of the voters, which is
Because you
the
are
youth.
working.
We are working, we are at school. So you'll find Batwa Longwa, the elders.
So
So-
retirees, elders.
Yes. So I'm like, the approach of it is actually not right, because the majority that's actually going to decide during voting is more like it's
Is
being
absent.
the absent, and we don't really get to participate.
That's what you told Bojo.
Yes,
Okofi.
that's
And
what
what-
I told him.
And what was the response?
And that's when he told me that there is power within the people. As voters, if we are informed, we make sure that we act on this kind of amendments. That's when the new change that we want, it can be passed on. So normally Tota Ene, what he was teaching that time, he was basically onto the constitution. He was teaching us the law side of it, what could happen and how everything was to
Yeah. And how has the public responded to the book?
that book, the approach that I tried to use. I tried to use speaker. That time speaker, Mr. Speaker, Korapets.
Yeah.
At that time I met him like 2 years before elections. So I was talking to him that I have a book, and this book, if you can probably share or talk about it somewhere, people get to know about it, because I'm trying to do interviews here and there, and people are not really responding because they don't know me. But I do believe it's a powerful book, just that it's a thing of just being unlucky sometimes. So now speaker says, come, let's meet, I'll help you, let me sit the book first. So then when I come, the speaker is not around, because that time he was the leader of opposition. He was always at Pikwe, so it's hard to access
He was
the man.
campaigning.
Yes, he was campaigning. So it was hard to meet the man. But he's a very good man. Like he would reply my text sometimes. Until at a certain point he was no longer replying. And then from there, change happens. He's now the speaker. I'm trying to text him. He's a busy man. But I still have connection, but he's no longer responding. I don't have access to him. So it's a political book. It needed somebody into politics who can actually say, I have someone here with a book. So that's how I was trying to do it.
We have a chapter relating to Forbes 30 under 30 summit and Botswana's democracy. What are you saying there?
Forbes 30 under summit.
Under 30.
Yes, there I was complaining about the approach of like how it was done. I remember it was that 1 year. What was that man? They called someone. It was the main mo for the. It was the former governance, not this one now.
Yeah, it was the previous government.
Yeah, the previous one. So I remember they called someone there. So people were complaining about William Last, the comedian one. That, why is this guy not part of Forbes? So it was a thing, okay, let me look at how they actually make their selections and what's actually there. Then I realized that mostly the SMC, the SME, they are the small businesses. It's more like that sideline. It's more like they're using much of into tech. So I was like, but if we were to look in terms of funding and trying to diversify the economy, the approach is not really the way that it's supposed to be, because there are a lot of people that are not benefiting from the program, but the program is also doing what it's taking a lot of money for this. These are some things that I always question, like the independence celebrations. It's like they were spending millions, but you can't get the objective of it. So those are things that I was trying to question on the books, like Forbes 30, what is it really about, whereby a lot of money is being injected on it, but we can't see 3 people, 4 people coming in to say we got the funding for small businesses.
Oh, we've benefited like
Yes.
this and like that.
Yeah,
So do you think it was a waste of public resources?
definitely. You know, there's something that I loved about VP said something some previous weeks. He said, the problem with our country is that we'll have nice ideas, but the problem is what? The execution. Yeah, and that's what I loved about what he said. And I wish if I could ask a question, I would have asked him that the devaluing Pula strategy was a good motive, but the execution of it, was it the right time? Because inflation is escalating as we're speaking.
Inflation.
There's quite a lot of things that are happening behind this. I don't know when Botswana gonna talk about it, because a lot is really happening now. So the motive was good, but the execution was questionable.
Let me ask you, in terms of the change of government that took place last year, about a year ago, was it the youth who got fed up or decided to change? What was the thing that really changed the situation? Since you write about politics here and you wrote this book last year, you may have, these are the sort of things that you probably thought about.
I believe I always hear people saying, the youth is powerful. Normally when you look into, like, one of the things that I actually wanted to look into was when the government changed. When you compare with the previous years, the statistics in terms of the voting, or it shouldn't be that this MP so and so on. It should be a thing or win with marginal guy, and compared to the previous years, because it will now explain the question: were people fed up, or it was people deciding? Because now, if people are fed up, they won't vote. But you see the numbers of voters now reducing, because people say we vote or we don't vote, it doesn't matter. That's a fed up someone. But somebody who say, now I make a decision, you find with the numbers now. Saying me, the numbers were even more compared to the previous years. So definitely I would say the change of governance was the youth decision. There was a lot that was done to the youth. Especially you look at some of the initiatives in Zealand where they were trying to take an ordinary Motswana from the society. We coming from villages where you find presidential celebration competitions, such kind of things. They were like butter to our lives, you know. They were like something that can actually bring joy to us, because to just get a 10K like that, it's not something that we grew up with. So once you cut those kind of things, COVID has long back finished. Youth funding is no longer there. There's quite a lot of
YDF
things.
is there, isn't it?
It just came recently. I think it was not there for previous
Yeah,
years.
it was stopped for a bit.
It has stopped. So it has stopped, and a lot of our lives was getting worse each and every single day. So there was a lot of complaining from our side. I'm a youth. From our side, we had a lot of things to complain about, and also some political propagandas that were just obvious. You know, the issue to do with Minister of Finance and Dikoloti. That issue, it was just too noisy. It was too obvious that there's just a lot of not on things that were happening there. Unfairness that we wouldn't really ask for. You just say it. So those kind of things that were just happening in front of our eyes, then you're like, hey, let's just decide. So
And the subtitle is The Roadmap Ahead. So what actually is the roadmap ahead here?
the roadmap ahead, that book is not approving, it's provoking. I'm trying to ask questions to say, if this has been done like that, what are the measures that from here going forth maybe we can change, or we can actually try to improve here? So it's more of like the roadmap ahead is more like where we are going, what are the expectations. So all of the things that I did, I always post on my Facebook page. Every time VP gives this speech, like he was giving the budget speech, we'll review it. I'll give my own analysis to it, ask questions that 1, 2, 3, if maybe we can look at it this way. But there's quite a lot of questions that I have that most people, when you try to put before them, they're like, let's just drink water for now. So that's
Let's
the
just
issue.
drink water for now.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Avoiding delving into issues.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's the. I mean, like one would question, Minister of Defense, it's under state presidency. That was the first question mark when the cabinet was being declared. So would want to know that from here going forth, this improvement, was it an improvement or it was a wrong move? So definitely we'll question that move, like why we dissolving that and then putting it under Minister of State Presidency. And then some names that we found there, like Mokwari, I thought would be for defense. The opposite happens. So those were kind of questions that were coming along, we are asking. But we're just patient because we voted them in. We are having hope that things will be better. But it's just unfortunate that now things are getting worse and worse, especially.
Are
in
they
terms
getting
of-
worse?
Definitely, I want to believe
Why do you
that.
say that?
I feel like inflation is a big challenge. You know, every time you get on Facebook, you can't find like 5 posts telling what there's no crime. Crime rate is actually going high. Like a lot of times. I was just talking to someone, Malo, about GBV is going high, crime is going up. You know, those kind of numbers.
So does the new government have to now own up and take responsibility for this, or it's not their fault?
Good. I feel like it's how things relate. Huh? There was a guy who asked me money one day by the bus rank, and he was telling me something. He said, "Please give me, so that I may not steal from you."
You was having that
understand?
conversation.
Yes, he was like, "Please give me, so that I may not steal from you." So I feel that's how things are. Good. We can't say the government is to blame for this, but we can actually say, when inflation goes up, prices start increasing. Just an ordinary life for Motswana is getting expensive, but the basic salary is still fixed. So you find where there's quite a lot of people now resorting to some means that's where we are now. So if numbers start increasing like that, but GBV, we are trying by all means, it's always been there, is not an issue of governance, but GBV, once it start mushrooming like that, it's actually a question to like.
I had a guest here before you who was saying it's the way we bring up the young men in our society, where a lot of youth are brought up in single parent homes, and there's a missing, actually the word he used is that we're a nation of missing fathers. I think that's what he said. We're a nation of absent, I want to use the exact, the fatherless nation. We're becoming a fatherless nation. Do you agree with her in terms of her analysis? Fathers are missing too much.
Most definitely, I would agree to that. Yes.
Isn't that the root cause?
Is the root cause. But then, if we were to ask the question that says, what about a young man who has grown up to be abusive because he grew up in a family whereby he saw Papa beating Mama at home? Father was there, but father taught the wrong means. So it's a true statement to say we are a fatherless nation. We lack that fatherhood growing up, which is true. But there are many factors also that can also add to that.
Yeah.
So like it's not a thing of there's a man who said something like, for me, for example, my sisters, I'm the first person to go to varsity, like I just mentioned. One man was saying, you were born to look like your parents, but you will die looking like your decision.
Say that again.
Are you born to look like your parents, but you will die looking like your decision? So there's a like where we can blame the fatherhood, the absence of fathers, but at some certain point, we can't say a 30-year-old is abusive because now he's still longing for that father aspect. At that point, we now ask, when as a man, you have kids, you have a family, what have you learned, what can you teach in terms, or now at that point
There's a time when you have to take responsibility
we take
and forget about the imperfections of your upbringing.
definitely. I want to believe at some age now it's a man's
Do
responsibility.
you think that people who grow up in single parent families have an obligation, especially with absent fathers, they have a responsibility to look for those fathers and connect at least with them, or it's not necessary?
It is necessary. Where I'm staying now is closer to where my dad is staying. Like my Bajuka father. I have contact with him. We do talk sometimes. I feel like
He's also the father to your sister.
to my brother.
To your brother, sorry.
Yeah, we only two. So, but we've backed bread. What that man must do is it's just a rich family that side. Grandma was an accountant, then to real estate, they got properties. It's such a big family. So when I'm hearing the story, it appeared that my dad had kids. So the state of the family from my father's side, they didn't accept my mom, so they felt like this is just a downgrade to that. So I feel like that was an issue back then. So I always ask my dad about the issue, that how true is that, and he's always like,
He's not married to somebody else.
no, but he's now with someone else. He's not with my mom anymore.
Yeah.
So
So he doesn't want to discuss it.
yes, but we do discuss it sometimes, but not to some certain extent. He just can't answer that
He
question.
can't go deep.
Yeah, he doesn't want to answer the question that so I feel like to your question, that are we obligated to now look for the fathers after maybe you mature? I think that's one has to do with someone's personality. I don't have anything against my father. My life is my responsibility. So, but I can actually look back. I'm like, if this man had provided me with 1, 2, 3, some of the limitations. So sometimes he reads my book and he sees that this guy is really smart. Where he is now, he wishes he had been part of the process. But we don't have anything against each other. We do talk sometimes. So now the problem with our youth is we have a generation of people who are so entitled. You feel like you ukulutu are saying, hey, you feel like this man had failed me. A lot of things happen. There was
So when you don't feel entitled?
I don't feel like that. I just feel my life is my responsibility. At this age now, it's me having to make right decisions or I'll die poor. So I don't want to go back to where I used to be. So it's a thing of me having to be a man.
You write a lot, especially in the competence book, about brokenness. Can you go a little deeper, because you talk about emotional distress and brokenness? Is this based on personal experience, or is this based on observing and reading others?
It's from personal experience. Brokenness, I believe every great man, there was a man who taught me, he says, every time you meet a great man, before you ask about the prosperity side of it, ask them about the challenges. How did they get there? So brokenness is an aspect that I feel every great man, every greatness, he has that composition to talk about.
Component.
Yes,
or the
that
composition
component.
as in a story, yes.
Yes, they have that thing to I had 1, 2, 3 limitations. And it was very rough. Sometimes I look back and it's a very emotional moment whereby we had to go wash dishes, and then you are paid with a meal, and you have to eat to some certain portion.
Other homesteads.
Yes, and then you have to leave something, because mommy and the brother is at home. When you are just young at 6 years old, you already act like the father of the house. So like it's very bad, and I always talk about upbringing. Just that I am not much of psychologist, but upbringing is very, very important. So brokenness is a part that I say limitations, the price to pay that we have went through, and then that I feel that every great story, it has that component in it.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking you this, because there's a part where you talk about the paradox of brokenness, unveiling the nexus of favor and grace. You say in the intricate tapestry of human experience, the notion of brokenness stands as a paradox, often bewilders the mind. How does it bewilder the mind?
It changes your perspective. Okay, have you seen a great man? People are queuing outside the office, and then he's just there in the office. Then when you enter the office, you find him playing with the grandson. He's playing with the grandson. A great man. It's because he had to abort the child in him at a certain age to be a champion. You see the guys and Arabs running around, riding on camels, returning back with dust.
In Arabia?
Yes.
In Arab countries?
Yes, because they had to abort their childhood to become great. So now they can't find solace in men. Every time
That's why they want to play with their grandchildren.
Yes, now they're resorting to, like, when he sees a child, he sees that expression to like somebody who can resonate with the child in him. And then now, because normally if you find great men, they have problem with trust. They have a problem with having to have men by you can rely on.
Finding trustworthy lieutenants or people to support them.
Yeah, so like you find I don't know, there's every time I'm trying to meet great people, like an Mr. Speaker, it's very hard to access him. It's very hard. But he's a man that you will see his status. This man has actually posted something. But I have like 15 messages there. Guess I send one a day.
Because you want to meet him. Because
I'm
you believe if you meet him, you will what? Why don't you just go to Parliament and wait for him to knock off?
I've done that several times. And then you know what he does? He will go outside and he will see me. He will talk to me sometimes. And then he's like, no, we'll talk, fine. Then we get in his car. He's gone. So most of the time he likes attending public lectures. So then I'll go there. I'll meet him there. There's some places that when I know he'll be there, then I go to attend. Then probably I'll meet him.
Are you not thirsting for a male figure, a male influence in your life? Isn't that the real challenge here? But a male mentor who's close to you.
Definitely. So that's what
Is that what you're searching for?
Yes, that's what I've been looking for, because there are a couple of errors, especially having to, you need someone who can actually understand your story, who can say, I see the passion is there, try to wait, do this, with experience, a man who can actually train you and build you. So most of the things that I know is just from my personal discovery. When I just read, like the book that you talk about, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn,
Jim Rohn is one of the best.
Yeah, Jim Rohn. I like listening to Jim Rohn a lot. So it's more like just discoveries. But there are men who don't have discovery only. They have experience. Like Speaker is, I love him for some certain extent, because besides politician, he's a scholar. So I've always wanted that. I wanted something that has to do with a mentor, somebody to like help me, redirect me. So that's what I've been longing for.
Hopefully you'll watch this podcast and reach out. Speaker, please reach out to the young man. He is thirsting for you. He needs your input in his life. He will eventually come around.
I hope so.
Yeah, as long as you don't fall apart, you stick to the game plan.
Yes.
Yeah. You talk of the alchemy of transformation. What is that about?
Transformation now is metamorphosis from like now you becoming the new man. You're becoming a new person after probably self-reflection, and then you realize that there are things that maybe here you've been missing, so now you transform into greatness. So that aspect, it has to do, with my books, how I'm trying to do them. It's the concept. Then after the concept is the action part of it. Have you seen a Mascom orange message? It will say jam meter 1212, and then the final stage it will be saying dial star. That's the action part of it. So the message is of no importance if it doesn't have dial star.
So without the final part.
Yes, so that's how I do my books. I always make sure that the concept, then after the concept is the review. Then after the review, you act on it.
So in your case, can you define the alchemy of transformation in your life? What took place? What happened? Self-reflection, resilience, re-evaluation, empathy, all these things which are part of the alchemy.
I just saw myself. There was a point where I nearly made it. I was really getting
Made it
there.
as what?
As in like my books, my career. This book, the Law of Competence. I had my first interview, the tech shop with DJ Govea, RB2, early in the morning. So it was like a 15 minutes interview. Yeah. So after the interview, people started calling. We want the book. We've been listening. That guy is smart. People started pushing. That some calls came in like, I want to get those books for my employees. I want to get those copies. People were pushing. Then I started selling copies. I sold like 50 copies. Yes, I just sold them quickly like that. There were people like really buying books. I remember there was a lady, I dropped a copy. She was in Pakalan. She got the copy for herself and also for the son. She told me that the son, she wanted the son to go through the sexual immorality part. So she got the book, she loved it. And then people were pushing. But then what I did was like, I tried to take the money, reinvest it on my writing again. Then I started,
on this book?
Yes, on that one. Then I started investing on that one. At some point, then I went back again, back to zero, and there was like a bit of downfall here and there. So the confidence was no longer there, and then now I'm lagging. I'm starting to beg for bread again. To like ask men to help you out is hard. Like you're trying to say, at least if you can talk to someone for me. It was hard. Then I went back to zero again. So I started grinding again. So that time I didn't know that concept until I listened to a man. He said that's called a screw it mode, whereby you have it, you lose it, then you build again.
Yeah.
So he says most people go through that. So that's when I listened to him, I felt like, let me not just give up. That's where the resilience
There are
part
two
comes
books
in.
I would recommend on that point. One is a book by Damon John called The Power of Broke. They deal with that situation where the entrepreneur is facing the threat of collapse, going through what we call the valley of death. In the J stick, there's this part where there are sharks and there are all kinds of crocodiles which are ready to devour you as a business person. And then before you go on an upward trajectory. So the book that is ideal for you to deal with that part, when you have to bootstrap, when you have to try things, is called the Power of Broke by Damon John. But also there's a book called The Lean Startup. There's another author who I recommend to my mentees, The Lean Startup. I forget the name of the author, but I'll let you have both authors when we finish this. It seems to me that those two books will help you in terms of fueling your upward trajectory, because you have the right mindset, you have the right tools. What you need is mentorship and encouragement.
Yes.
That's what you are getting, that's what you are needing, because you already have what I call POC, proof of concept.
Yes.
This is POC for you. It shows that you can do something, you can make a difference. So with POC and with the traction that you have gained, all you need is just encouragement and mentorship to keep pushing you through.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. So hopefully someone is listening and they will step forward to mentor you more directly. I can mentor you from a distance, but not more directly. But you deserve and you require direct mentorship.
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say are the biggest challenges and setbacks? We've talked about setbacks here and there indirectly, but what are the biggest challenges that you need to overcome for you to become a successful author and a successful business person?
With I've seen like this thing is possible. I've seen the light. So my problem now is I'm doing engineering. So that's my challenge. I'm doing engineering.
That's going to also help you because it's
Yes.
a powerful degree. Engineering is a lot of CEOs are engineers.
Yes, sir.
Elon Musk's of this world.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So like it's a bit a lot of work. I'm trying to balance. Even to come for the podcast today, I had to like work overnight, push some of the labs that I had to submit today, then sacrifice here and there so that I can make it for the podcast. So I also have to learn other skills that helps me, like graphic designs, so that I can actually design my stuff, because I was paying like $400 for a design, 200 or $400 for a design.
That's a lot for a student.
That's a lot for me when I was a student. So it's just the challenge is that. But then the second challenge is that where I come from, I have to really I have so much pressure on me. I have so much burden. I'm the only guy to actually make it to varsity.
Why is your brother not making it to varsity?
My brother is young, so he's coming. I believe he's coming.
But he's on his way.
Yes.
He's doing Form
5.
Oh no, he'll get there.
So I believe next year he'll be with me.
He's
so
on the right track. He's getting the right grades.
Yes, he's getting good grades.
Yeah, with a brother like you, how can he not?
So I think those are just like challenges, family, having to balance that, and church. But church, my father now understand, because he realizes I have a lot to do.
Yeah.
But with ministry, the man that raised me is a prophet. He raised me from a small boy to where I am today. So he's very protective. Like, I don't know, he's insecure that when I go to Gaps, then I'll meet other pastors. And
No, I thought you say you'll meet other negative influences.
Yeah,
Is he
no,
concerned
normally
about
he's
you?
concerned about that, because ministry is difficult, especially in the village. The village, we have to buy stuff, we have to maintain the church financially. So it's a bit challenge. So when you have an asset, he considers me an asset. Like, this guy he can be the future for ministry. So he's very careful with that. So sometimes he can just be unreasonable. He just wants me to do some things for him. I have school work.
Finally, as we come to the conclusion, I want you to talk about the idea of sacrificing. You're obviously a student and you are surviving on your allowance, and yet you've written 2 books. What did you say to others who are watching in terms of the importance of bootstrapping and the importance of sacrificing to get your results?
I want to believe that there's no greatness without sacrifice. Sacrifice is just is the beginning of it. So you don't just sacrifice because you just want to sacrifice. Most of the time you don't have a choice. So if you treat it, there's a book by a guy called Eric Thomas, The Motivational Aspect.
Yes.
He wrote a book. He says, desire for success as much as you want to breathe. It's a very powerful book.
Yeah, he talks of a guy who's put underwater
by a
Yes.
master,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and then eventually the master takes him out and he says,
Yes.
you wanted to breathe, you have to want to succeed as much as you wanted to breathe when you are
Yes.
underwater.
Yes, that
Yeah, I
book.
remember that.
Yeah. So it's more like when it comes to sacrifice, you understand that if I don't do this, ke gola lakatla. So it's not like you have a choice. It's either you do it or you don't do it. But if you don't do it, you're gonna struggle. So it's more like you have to see your future. So if you see your future where you're going, it helps you to like.
Yeah. Speaking of the future, what's your long term, maybe medium term, 5 years to even 20 years plan? What do you see? What is the future you see?
Right now, what I'm trying to do is, I wrote 2 more books. The
Oh,
brokenness one. Now the brokenness is not just a chapter; it's a book. So I have that one. The second one is called.
you have it saved on your laptop.
Yes, I'm always typing. So the second
I
one.
hope you back up in the cloud.
Yes. So I don't want to lose them. So the third one, it's
No, you haven't mentioned the second one.
the second one is the fear of the unknown.
Eh,
First
I-
one is that
oh
law of
yeah. Oh, I
competence.
thought you meant 3 more. Okay.
So the third one is Business Chronicles.
It's not brokenness.
No, the brokenness. I want to release it. The final one is the fourth
Oh,
one.
okay. So it becomes the fourth one.
Yeah. So I want
So what
to
is the
like
third one again?
Business Chronicles, navigating the path to wealth. So that one I really need to reference the nuggets of grit, obviously.
Yeah.
So if I don't know why I haven't read this book.
Someone was saying it's better to experience things first before you write a book.
Yes.
But I think you can do both.
Yes, we can do both.
You can experience and write and anticipate at the same time.
So like to add on what you're saying, I was listening to Vusitembe Kwaile in the morning. I always just listen to that man every day. So he said something that a lot of people were objecting to it. He said the only pastor he wants to listen to is the one who once stole. So
Once told.
yes, and then he was like, the only marriage counselor I want to listen to is the one who has divorced. And people were objecting to that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't necessarily have to go through something to like talk about it. So in terms of navigating the path to wealth, as in like Business Chronicles, I'm not diving in deep into like be into like building a multi-million business. I'm just talking of the economics part, the microeconomics part of business. Yeah, I did mention I did microeconomics. So I have like 9 credits economics. So that's
You
why
mean at a family level, economics, microeconomics, it means what?
macroeconomics, there's
Personal finances?
it's just personal finances.
Oh, okay.
So you know economics has got 2 branches, the macro one and the micro one.
yeah, yeah.
So I love macro, but then I learn micro first. So then after learning micro, then that's when I'm like, oh, there's interesting concept here. Things like to do with supply and demand. Things has to do with credibility, logistics, branding. You know, there was a guy who was talking about branding and marketing. It was like marketing, you are chasing. Branding, you are attracting. Because when you market a product, you are telling people that I'm selling 1, 2, 3. But when you build a brand, people come to the brand.
That's very true.
So that's stuff that I share about on that
Yeah.
book.
So what do we see in the 15, 30 years? What do we have? We see all these books. What else?
What I want to do from here, if I get the access to that man, I want to actually branch into the diplomacy part. Try to do something to do with that, so that at some point I can actually get law. There was a man who warned me. He's a prophet. He told me that my destiny is with law. So even if it can take like some years, I'll definitely have to do that
You
degree.
may have to consider doing it by correspondence, maybe with VITs. I have a couple of mentees who've done it that way,
Oh,
through correspondence, through VITs. You know, one person who comes to mind is Mrs. Gondwe Precious. She did her law while working
Yeah,
through
yeah.
correspondence.
Yeah, so I think I actually
She's a very successful lawyer. She
Mhm.
even has a PhD now.
in law.
I think in law, or it's honorary, I don't know, but she's got Dr. Precious now.
Um,
All right, now you can ask me one question.
um, I don't know. I got so many questions,
Mm.
but most definitely, I want to know about your transition, the law part to businessman. I want to know that aspect and how you managed to navigate it.
Yeah.
Yes, that part.
It took a bit of time because it started, the way I look at it, from around 99. The first two properties I acquired, I was I needed to do them. One was for accommodation for myself, and the other was for the law firm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't consider myself to have been in business then. But when I started building the warehouse in Pakalane, and then acquiring other properties, I think I was doing it as a business. So from 99 to 2013, there was an overlap where I was splitting my time between lawyering, physically going to court, filing documents, meeting clients, and then after that, in the afternoon, I'll go and inspect what's happening on sites.
Oh.
And then some days I would even block out some days just to go and acquire building materials to develop properties. So I would say that time was an overlap. It was a bit of a transition. But then I discovered that I don't have to abandon law completely. So I'd rather delegate to a manager or to some people that I trust to take over. So from 2013 up to now, I had a managing partner at any given time running the law firm while diversifying. So it was more like diversification than transference or transition. It was more like, okay, you have this, you diversify into this. You have this, you diversify. You have law here, you diversify into property. You have property here, you diversify into restaurants. You have restaurants here, you diversify into podcasting. You have this, you diversify into this, whether. And there are smaller aspects of that as well, in terms of going to things like hospitality, running lodges, going to things like the stock market. We've a sizable presence in the stock market, investing in other areas. You can see, when you have time, I'll take you through all the different companies we are running. So I don't think I completely transitioned. I rather diversified. Yeah.
So, like for the businesses are doing well, you're still doing low. But
Yeah.
most people, they actually leave the other one, focus on this one once this one
It's
makes
their
sense.
choice. I mean, I find that the law complements a property very well, in the sense that when we acquire, guess who does the agreements? Guess who does the transfers? The law firm. When we pay legal fees, instead of paying somebody else, we pay through our own law firm and keep it going. And also, what I've always believed in doing is to empower others. So there's a thing that every lawyer needs to do, which is, for a year, they need to work in a law firm. So right now there are 3 youngsters or young pupils who are working under me, so that they can become lawyers. That's a form of national service as well that I'm providing. So I like the way we've kept it. Now have a look at that camera there, sir, and leave the viewer with a final message as we conclude.
Let me
Hopefully an uplifting message.
let me just conclude by saying the journey to greatness is never easy. It takes patience. It takes resilience. You have to be willing to work through hardships. You should be willing to sacrifice. You should be willing to stay disciplined. Disciplines builds consistency. So I want to believe that if you want to go far, it really takes patience. It will come. Sometimes the longest road to success is shortcuts. Shortcuts will just drag you or delay your progress. Just pay the price. Like Say was saying, just choose the organic way. It always takes time, but it's worth it. Thank you.
Okay. Do you mind sharing your contacts in case they want to buy books or have a conversation?
My contacts, it's orange 72885900. That's my orange number. I'm only using that number. WhatsApp, everything is 72885900. Facebook, Jackson Kgosiitsile. Instagram, Jackson Kgosiitsile. So those are my 2 active accounts.
It remains for me to thank you, sir, for coming and sharing your story so openly, and for being such a brave young man, and as an aspiring entrepreneur and as a successful author of 2 books. We wish you everything of the best. Dear viewer, kindly hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate your time in watching this podcast. Bye-bye. Thank you.